Greetings everyone out there on YouTube. This is ToonkriticY2K, or CC Trainer Ling if you would prefer. This is the video that is not a parody clip, not a Q&A video. This is a response to a controversy that has been surrounding a fandom that I've never been a part of, but I've heard a great deal about, and that's the MLP fandom. Let me just say right now, I am not a brony. I don't like the show. I have my reasons for that, but that's not the topic of this video. This concerns the people that I know in this community, and it definitely concerns the man responsible for this controversy. The man responsible for all of this is former Bronalysis reviewer ToonkriticY2K. When I heard what had happened, I was so angry beyond imagination. I mean, I was really, really angry. For those of you who may not know, ToonkriticY has been found out to be doing online role-playing with an underage girl. I believe it was 14 years old. And in a video confession with some of his friends, he openly admitted that he has done this stuff. But in the video, which I will link in this video down below, he talks as if somehow this wasn't a big deal. Maybe in his mind it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal to everyone else. And it's just the usual stuff that I've known about him for the longest time. It's just the usual, I'm sorry, I didn't know that this would happen like this. I knew it was wrong. I should have stopped this, but I didn't. I'm sorry. I've been seeing a therapist. I'm going to try and get help. I want to fix this my way. I've heard that type of stuff for many years when I was in his one Skype group, the Awesomely Talented and Creative Clan. Every time something dramatic would happen, he would use that excuse all the time. I'm sorry, I got problems. I'm going to go get help. Please forgive me. I want you to still like me. I know a lot of people probably still liked him in that chat. And probably even after what's been going on with this current controversy, I'm sure some people are still going to support him and still be by his side. But being the guy that I am, and being part of the group that I used to be a part of until I got booted out of that group, because I guess I was different from everyone else, probably me being a non-brony, or whatever the reason may be, I stopped forgiving this guy probably as early as 2013. From that moment on, I just looked at ToonkriticY, or Zach if you will, as just an associate. Not a friend, not really an acquaintance, just an associate. Probably better to use the term business partner. Because that's all I ever looked at him from that point on. He's just a guy I know in this chat with other good people, and he just happens to be there bringing in drama. Even when he added more people into that chat, and I could never get a word in edgewise, I knew that his fame, or at least his quest to have a lot of fame, had gone to his head, and that maybe disassociating himself with non-bronies like myself would make things a little bit easier on him. So, after I left that group, through no choice of my own, because again, I got thrown out of it, I was sad that I got removed without any word to speak on my behalf. I just realized that, hey, I was free. I was finally able to get away from that drama. And I had confided to several people in that chat about what kind of person he is. And much like the rest of the fandom who had known about Zach's little pedophilia and groping stuff within the fandom, both online and in real life at conventions, they admitted to it that, you know, this person is no good, but they never dealt with the problem. Especially the ones that I like to call my close friends. They knew about these problems, but they never came forward. You know, it's one thing for people who were, you know, actually violated by this monster. It's one thing for them to be afraid to not say be afraid to say something because they think, oh, I'll probably fall out of his good graces, and you know, he'll probably disown me, and probably everyone else who follows him will disown me as well. So that's why they never said anything. I mean, that's one thing if you're an actual victim. But for those who see it and know about it, well, they just continue to let it happen. A lot of the people in the Burnouses community knew about this groping and all this kind of stuff at conventions, but they never did anything about it. Now, I'm sure someone out there is going to say, well, gee, Steam Team, if you knew about this, how come you didn't say anything? I did say something about it. I did the best I could to tell people that this man is no good. But no one ever listened to me. No one ever believed what I was saying. I don't know if it was because Toon is just a master manipulator who just convinced everyone that he's good and anyone who's against him can't be trusted or shouldn't be believed. Or maybe it was because I'm not a brony, and so their mind would be like, well, I don't know why this non-brony's saying this. He doesn't watch the show, so why should I believe him? It could be any number of reasons. I did what I could to tell people about what kind of person he is, especially to my friends who were in the same chats with him. And I just kept telling them, hey, if you don't like this guy, you got to get out. He threw me out, and he clearly doesn't want me back in that group. So why not just leave with me and we can start our own thing so we don't ever have to deal with this guy again? But they never did. Not on Skype groups, not the people who've known him at conventions. Basically, my whole point to this is people knew about the kind of stuff that Zach has said and done and has tried to present himself as. But no one ever spoke out and said, no, we're not going to cover for this guy. We're not going to protect him anymore for this stuff. This stuff needs to be made public. But nothing ever came of like simple Skype conversations. It took a pedophilia act like this with a minor to finally say, no more Toon Critic. We're banning this guy from the community. We're blacklisting him. We're not bringing him to conventions anymore. We're going to alert the authorities and everything like that. I mean, I'm really disappointed I'm really disappointed that it took this long to finally make it happen. But in the end, I'm glad it finally did happen. I mean, I don't know what's going to become of this man. I don't know if he's going to be convicted of this. I don't know what's going to really come of his victims. I don't know who else is going to come forward. But for those who have come forward and those who will, I just want to say now and in advance, thank you. Thank you for spreading the word about this guy. And for no longer being afraid to finally come out and say what you have been feeling for the longest time about this person. Because I've wanted to make a video about this man for a long time, even before this whole pedophile thing ever came to light. But I never did because like I said, no one would ever believe me about this guy. No one would ever want to believe the non-brony has a natural hate for this big, quote, powerful man in the brony community, and really, who would want to believe me anyway? But given the circumstances now, I'm glad that everyone finally knows the truth about who Toon Critic really is. He is a scumbag. He's a monster. He's a jerk. And he doesn't deserve any forgiveness. In that video, again, posted in the description below, he wants to know if people want to forgive him in due time. And he also wants to know, well, actually no, sorry, let me rephrase that. He wanted to keep this thing secret because this thing was going to, quote, damage his career. See, just on those two things alone, that automatically means no forgiveness, no chance of redemption. Worried about your career? Are you kidding me? The moment you started doing this and the moment this stuff leaked out, your career already was ruined, dude. Your career was already done. And to ask people for forgiveness, you got the audacity to really ask people to forgive you in due time because of this and still maintain friendships after all of this? You've got to be kidding me. I mean, you really got to be kidding me. And above all, people have got to be really joking me around when they actually defend this guy. I've had people tell me Why do you have to keep hating on this guy? Why do you have to keep criticizing him? He said he was sorry. He said he said he's trying to get help. And that's not the point. The point is, this guy should not have been doing what he was doing in the first place. It was wrong. Everyone knew it was wrong. And the fact that people, again, didn't come forward about this sooner, about what was happening at conventions and what was going on behind convention doors or probably in hotel rooms at the convention hall, it's... I just don't know. I really don't know, because at this point, it doesn't matter. The truth is out. Now that this guy has been blacklisted, I would hope that more people start coming forward to share their thoughts on this man. And I hope more victims, if there are any more, to please speak up against this monster. This horrible, horrible part of a fandom that is supposed to embrace all kinds of happiness and stuff like that. I mean, here I am advocating for a fandom that I'm not a part of, but I want to be there for the people who have been affected by this. Because this is a situation that hits close to home. At least in my community, something similar like this has happened in my local town. I'm not going to get into a lot of details about it, but let's just say that a role model for students is no longer a role model these days because of doing similar things to what ToonkriticY2K has done. That's all I'm going to say. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope to all of his victims out there that you find peace and solace in the future, and that one day your scars will heal, and that no more, that and I repeat again, that no more will issues like this ever be swept under the rug, which is what some of the bronies in the fandom had tried to do to protect this man. For any victims out there who haven't spoken out against Toon, whether they have been personally affected by him, been in physical contact, if you know what I mean, or anything in general, I encourage you to please speak out and share your experiences with this guy, because you will be helping to raise the awareness of what is going on in this fandom, and hopefully this fandom can recover from this. Even though I don't care much for the fandom, I do hope that they can find a happier time somewhere in the future. For those who do want to get involved in this and do want to help spread the awareness of this controversy about this horrible, horrible human being, I don't know if this is a joke or not, but I don't think it is. I want you to spread this hashtag. Hashtag MeToon. I know. You could say that that's just a reference to the hashtag MeToo that Hollywood has been doing. Even though it may be a joke to some, this is a very serious matter. Because like I said, this is a situation that hits very close to home. It's one thing to hear about it from people that you don't know, that it happened to people that you don't know, but when it happens to people that you do know, and that it does affect the people that you have come to know as your friends, that hashtag really does hold a lot of power. So if you want to help to spread the awareness, you can do the hashtag MeToon wherever you can spread your hashtags to. But if not, that's fine. But please don't be afraid to speak out against Toon, because trust me, as far as we're concerned, he's never going to hurt anyone ever again. At least I would hope that he doesn't. And I do pray that justice will be served, and whatever punishment he gets, no matter how severe it is, I hope that he embraces every last bit of it. So, with that being said, this is Steam Team ToonkriticY2K signing off, and just remember, never be afraid to speak the truth about the monsters that you encounter. Hashtag MeToon.